Welcome back to the second part of our NC500 road trip mini-series. If you haven't already seen part 1, then we'd suggest you go back and watch that now because, well, you've missed the third of the most epic road trip in the UK. This week, we're picking up where we left off last time, making our way further up the beautiful west coast of the Highlands and along some of the most magnificent roads we've ever driven.
So what do you think of this road?
It's incredible. It's just so remote. There's absolutely nothing around, no houses, and it is just stunning. The yellow bracken, wildflowers and whatnot along the side, and these mountains and hills and lakes in the background. My gosh. In this weather, it is probably one of the most picturesque countries that we've ever been to, I think.
That was a long drive, no?
Yeah, it turned out to be. Because we had to go so slowly, I think, at most points. But
yeah, beautiful, but yeah, feels like we've been in the cab for a long time. Anyway, we're at the beach.
I've been in your waters, been knocking at your door.
What do you think about this then?
It is amazing. It's absolutely surreal. It is a pure white sand beach on the north coast of Scotland. And I'll tell you something else, I'm wearing a t-shirt. And to make it even more surreal, we've just seen 2 alpacas or llamas or some animal of that description just walking into the sea. I'm not joking either. I can't believe how clear the water is.
It's just so beautiful. I mean, it's freezing.
Is
like,
it?
It's ice cold.
Yeah, I'm staying out of it.
It's just, I honestly just can't believe it. I don't really know what to say. I feel really quite overwhelmed.
Right.
Just because it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, there's just something about being back on the beach, and I didn't think that we were going to be back on a beach for a long time.
Yeah, we'd made peace with that, hadn't we?
Yeah, we were like, when we left Morocco, it's going to be like a good few months, and I don't know, just seeing Adi back here, like, she loves the beach.
Today is actually a very special day. It is mine and Sarah's 8th wedding anniversary, and I can't really think of anywhere better to spend it, to be quite honest.
I know, we couldn't have timed it better, really, could we?
No, it's been a bit of a mad 8 years, hasn't it?
It has, it's been really crazy. So we got married the year that we set off travelling. So yeah, we not only have been married 8 years, we've been travelling 8 years as well.
Yeah.
So it's like a super special anniversary.
Absolutely. So we've brought a couple of beers down to the beach, and we're just going to enjoy them whilst watching the sunset.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
We want to say a big thank you to Manta Sleep for not only sponsoring this week's video, but also for genuinely having a massive impact on the quality of our sleep.
Sleep is one of those weird things that we all know how important it is, not only for our general health, but also for our mental health and our overall well-being. We spend about a third of our lives doing it or trying to do it, and yet it's something that very few of us invest any real time, money or effort into improving it.
Perhaps you're one of the millions of people who struggle to get to sleep, or you find yourself waking up at regular intervals, or maybe you simply just want to up your nap game. Then Manta Sleep have an incredible eye mask that could go a long way to solving your sleep problems.
These things are super comfortable, they're completely blackout, infinitely adjustable, and they have masks that suit all kinds of sleepers. I'm looking at you if you're a side sleeper like me. The range also includes masks designed to help with a whole host of specific problems, including heated eye cups, weighted masks, cooling masks, and even a luxurious anti-aging silk mask.
We've partnered with Manta Sleep to bring you 10% off their entire range, and we are pretty sure that, like us, you'll love them.
So if you want to get your hands on one of these, then go for it and either click the link in the description below, or you can enter the code TWWON10 at checkout to claim your 10% discount now.
We've spent an amazing morning on the beach at the park that we were at last night.
Oh, so good there. I loved it so much.
It was like a tropical beach, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And now we have driven a couple of hours up the coast and we're in a place called Durness, and we're going to try what has been called the best hot chocolate in the world.
I know, I'm excited about it. It is really warm, but it's also quite windy, so I think a hot chocolate would be really nice.
I really enjoyed that hot chocolate. Cocoa Mountain was a good stop.
Yeah. No, that was a good shout.
It reminded me of those hot chocolates that we used to have in Mexico because it was really thick.
Yes.
And it was made with real chocolate rather than just cocoa powder.
Yeah, where they used to have like an actual bar of chocolate on a stick and used to melt it in milk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the other products were really good as well. They did actual truffles and chocolates, and they had loads of stuff like brownies. So we tried a few bits and pieces and it was all very delicious. Was it the best hot chocolate? We'll let you decide if you come there. We have now come onto another beach. Do you know what this one's called?
It begins with the B, but I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. We'll put it on screen because, yeah.
Who cares about the name? It's absolutely stunning.
It is so big as well. Like, the sea is just like really far away, so there's like tons and tons and tons of sand, but it's also really wide as well. It just feels like it goes on for miles. I mean, it probably does go on for miles, but yeah, we found ourselves a little corner and got ourselves set up to have a spot of lunch and just chill out for the afternoon.
Well, today has been absolutely amazing. We have spent most of it on the beach, and the beaches have been absolutely incredible. So we've had a really good time, and Adi has been in her element. We came back reasonably late actually, so we had a nap and we've just knocked up some noodles for dinner. We're going to scoff these down and then probably get an early night again and hopefully get back onto the beach tomorrow morning. We're in some free parking, which is literally about 2 minutes away from the beach, and it seems pretty quiet around here, only sheep for company really, so hopefully we're in for a peaceful night.
Adi and I have been down the beach this morning while Jay's been working, and it's just been so lovely, parts so close to the beach, like that we can just nip down there and just hang out for a while. Absolutely loved it. We are heading on from this parking spot this morning though, and going to a campsite for tonight. It's only about 10 minutes down the road I think, so really close, and by another gorgeous beach. So yeah, we will see you there. We are all set up on the campsite. It's right on the cliff edge and the views are absolutely amazing. However, it's so windy up here. I hope it's going to be okay. Anyway, Jay's just knocked up a delicious looking ramen for lunch, so we're going to tuck into that.
This campsite was in one of the most incredible locations with clifftop walks and its own secluded beaches, but we were there mainly to do some much needed van chores and refresh our services, so we headed on the next morning.
First stop of the day, we are heading to a place called Smoo Cave, which I understand is just a massive cave, but you can go like properly inside it, like on a boat tour I think, and like yeah, in the water, like underneath all the tunnels and stuff, so yeah, should be pretty excited.
Smoo Cave is accessed by some pretty steep steps down to this long tidal gorge, which was actually once a part of the cave before it collapsed in on itself. This first chamber is absolutely huge, boasting the largest sea cave entrance in Britain, and it feels like something out of a set of Indiana Jones. To see the rest of the chambers, you have to go on a tour, but for health and safety reasons, it's only suitable for over 3s. So Adi and Sarah sat this one out, and I went in by myself. Unusually, Smoo Cave was formed by both fresh and seawater, and this part normally has a large waterfall tumbling into it from a river above, but thanks to the unseasonably good weather we've been experiencing, it was completely dry. The tour then takes you further and further by boat towards the third chamber, which is then a short walk away through these pretty tight tunnels. The guides here are extremely knowledgeable, and Aaron, my tour guide, explained all about the history of Smoo Cave from its formation to the modern day.
So how was it?
It was really cool. It was about a 25-minute tour, and basically you go in a boat and it takes you sort of under this bridge and into different chambers that are in the cave. And the caves are just absolutely vast. They're obviously thousands and thousands of years old. They've got an incredible history where people actually used to live down there and live underground, and there's evidence of them living in there. Really interesting. I enjoyed that. Shame that you couldn't come in.
Back on top of the cliff, you can also see the entrances and the holes that form the caves from the river above. It's a really fascinating piece of geology and a stop that I'd highly recommend making if you're in the area.
Well, the place that we were originally going to park up at, just on the bridge there, that someone had told us was a really nice viewpoint and that we could stay there overnight, actually has a no overnight parking sign, so I don't know how recent that is, but anyway, we drove on and found another place a little bit higher up, kind of off the main road, and it's got an absolutely cracking view even though it's just a lay-by, so I think we will be pretty happy here. What's on the menu tonight then, you two?
Today we are having bangers and mash. For anyone that is not British, that is sausages and mashed potato. And once again, the weather is just incredible, so I'm able to cook with the door open and the sun looks like it's going to set just over there, so absolutely perfect. I'm so excited about this park up.
Well, it is really not very warm today, is it?
No.
It's really quite windy and cold. We've just stopped by Durness Bay to have a little go on the beach there, but yeah, we didn't stay out there too long, did we?
At least it's not raining. I think that's about the most positive thing I can say about the weather.
That's true. AJ enjoyed herself anyway. She took a bucket and spade. We are just going to head round now to a place called Durness Head, where there is a lighthouse. To me, it looks like it is actually like the most northern point of Scotland. And I know that sounds silly because it's supposed to be John O'Groats, but you know when you look at it on the map, like it's further north, like it sticks out more into the sea than John O'Groats.
I think that's the orientation of the map that you were looking at, to be quite honest.
Anyway, it looks pretty good. So yeah, there are 4 motorhome bays apparently there that you can park in overnight. So we're hoping to nab one of those, and we're going to head there now. I can see a motorhome and a camper van up ahead in front of us.
There's a motorhome ahead of us. The one in front of that looks like an actual shed, and I'm not just being disrespectful about someone's van here, right? It looks like an actual shed on a lorry bed. It is an actual shed on a lorry bed. Amazing. I've just noticed a sign on an obelisk over here that says Durness Head, most northerly point of mainland Britain.
Well, there you go then. Orientation of the map, my eye.
Yeah. In the background there, I don't know why, but the cliff line is just like bathed in this golden light, and everything else is kind of grey and grim, but just the cliff line over there, you can see it really distinctly. So yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. In front of that, we've got the lighthouse. I know nothing about the lighthouse. I imagine that it is very old or something like that. Yeah, got any facts? No?
Nothing at all. No. I know there's loads of wild seabirds around here. Obviously they're wild. There's loads of like wildlife around here, seabirds, and like quite I don't know whether there's normally like puffins at a certain time of year.
Oh wow.
I don't know, like, you know, like quite unique ones that use it as a nesting ground.
Okay.
That's the only thing that I know.
Well, it looks like there are some information boards and there's a lot of walks around here as well that are signposted. So I reckon that we get on some of those and teach ourselves some of the facts about this area.
Durness Head is exactly 2.35 miles further north than John O'Groats, and much of it is an RSPB nature reserve. The wild, rugged cliffs create a natural fortress for birds and make it a fantastic place to spot guillemots, puffins, razorbills and more. The lighthouse is indeed pretty old, built in 1831, and the area is also home to quite a few bunkers and fortifications from the Second World War, and it's easy to see why with this awesome 360-degree vantage point.
Oh my gosh, that was absolutely bitterly cold and so windy out there. Unbelievable.
I know.
It's such a change from the past few days, right?
It is. I mean, we are like in a really exposed spot, but to be honest, I was thinking this is probably what Scotland was going to be more like weather-wise than what we have had. So, you know, at least we've got that little bit of sunshine and blue skies. I feel like better equipped to cope with this now. If it had just been like this the whole way, it would have been quite brutal and hard to deal with.
We did try and do a little bit of filming up there, but it's just so windy that I'm pretty sure that you're not going to be able to hear anything that we were saying, and the camera's going to be shaking all over the place. So we are back in the van now. It was a pretty short walk. We were out for about 15-20 minutes, and that is more than enough.
Yeah.
That you can hear roaring in the background, that's our diesel heater. So it is pretty toasty in here already, actually, because it heats it up really quickly.
Yeah.
So we're just going to settle down, grab a hot drink, and probably get some dinner.
Well, I think this is exactly what we need. A delicious Caribbean soup to warm us up now.
Absolutely. That's what this kind of weather calls for.
This morning I woke up at about 5 o'clock and the wind was just ridiculous. Like, it was just really shaking the van all over the place, and it kept like coming in big like swoops and like swirling us around, and I was genuinely worried that we were going to end up with a solar panel off. Like, the stuff on the roof is quite low profile, but it was just so strong. It was the strongest wind that we've ever experienced in the van. I've no idea how, but AD and Jay were both managing to sleep through it, but in the end I had to wake Jay up, and we moved a little bit further down the road, just off the edge of the cliff there, to a bit of a more secluded parking spot. So Jay was climbing through the hatch at like 5:30 this morning to move us down the road. Obviously we didn't want to go outside in that kind of wind, so AD and I stayed in bed because it was just a little way down the road. It's a really quiet road anyway, and we didn't want the doors to get blown off with the wind, hence why Jay climbed through the escape hatch. So yeah, we're all feeling a little bit tired this morning, because then AD woke up and couldn't get back to sleep. Yeah, early start. So we are fixing it the only way we know how, with a strong cup of coffee and a bacon sandwich. But these are no ordinary bacon sandwiches, right? Go on, tell people about them.
Sorry, you caught me mid-drink. These have got a Scottish potato cake in them, and when you get a crispy potato cake and a nice bit of bacon in a sandwich, you cannot beat it. It is a revelation. If you've not tried it, do try it.
It is super windy still, so we have just been chilling in the van this morning and doing a little bit of work, had a nap, and now we are going to head round to John Groats, which is about a 20-minute drive away from where we are. Hopefully the weather is going to settle down a little bit en route, but we're not holding our breath. Well, we're here and the wind is still really bad, right?
I'm not going to lie, I don't actually want to get out. It's freezing outside. It's so cold. Just from coming from the back of the van into the front before we set off to drive, my hands were like blocks of ice.
But we've just seen 3 people in shorts.
There's some mental people about.
Anyway, we've seen somewhere that we can hopefully get some fish and chips. So we're going to brave it and go out and try and find some.
Well, I'm glad we haven't walked from Land's End to get here. It's closed. I cannot believe that this place is shut due to poor weather. That's exactly when people want hot food. We're going to have to find somewhere else.
We did indeed find a lovely little cafe and settled in for some warming seafood chowder and chips before exploring some more of John O'Groats' charms.
I know the weather feels like it's Christmas outside, but that is a little bit much, isn't it? Well, there we were laughing at the Christmas shop, and unbelievably we've actually ended up with a piece of Christmas tat. It's terrible, and it cost £7 as well. But what happened was Sarah and Adi went into the Christmas shop, there were Christmas tunes on, and they were dancing around so hard that they knocked it off and they broke it, so we had to buy it. I can't believe we've ended up with this in the middle of April.
After a quick play on the park, we finally admitted defeat to the weather and called it a day. And I have to admit, we were left a little bit baffled as to why John O'Groats is so famous if it's not the northernmost point in Britain, as is the common misconception. So if you know, then please do tell us in the comments.
Can you hear that? This is incredible. This sounds like we're inside a jet engine. I've just looked outside the window and trying to figure out what it is, and I think it's hail. But it's not normal hail. This is just sheets and sheets that are just coming in waves like that. This is incredible. It's gonna look like it's snowed outside.
Well, good morning anyway. So we have an external cover that goes over our water heater that's outside on the side of the van, and normally the system is that when we get to a place we get out of the cab, take it off and come in, and then it's off and you can use the hot water. We forgot to do that yesterday because, well, the weather was so terrible, and AD and I just climbed through the window inside. So somebody's got to go out and turn that on so that we've got some hot water this morning.
Not me.
The reason we are parked at this exact park up is because there are some castle ruins nearby that we're on our itinerary to see. Obviously the weather is absolutely terrible outside, so I am going to go and nip there and see these ruins and take you with me. I've drawn the short straw, and these two are going to stay here and get breakfast ready for when I get back. Okay, let's do this. I don't know how well you're going to be able to hear me outside because the wind is so strong. But let's give this a go. Once the ancestral home of the Earls of Caithness, one of the most powerful families in Scotland at the time, this impressive building has stood here for over 500 years. Oh my gosh, this is so windy! But teetering precariously on the cliff edge, completely exposed to the harsh coastal elements, it's not surprising that it's only the ruins of this spectacular weather-beaten castle that remain today. The condition of Castle Sinclair Gurnigo also, however, has a lot to do with the battle scars it's suffered over the centuries, both from warring clans and at times outright vandalism. And whilst I'd far rather have been exploring it in the sunshine, the moody weather conditions really did add an extra dash of dramatic atmosphere to the place. Oh my god! It's so cold! Everything is starting to hurt now! I'm literally running back to the van! My day's got the kettle on! Oh my gosh!
Cold?
Yeah! Please tell me you've got the kettle on. Oh man, everything hurts. It's so good though. Like,
Yeah?
it's so beautiful.
Really?
Like, yeah, it's like, it's really, 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 really cool. It's so windy though that there's like so much wind you can't breathe.
Really?
Does that make sense? Like, the air's going past you so quickly that you don't have a chance to breathe it in. Like, I was just stood there at one point, just like the wind was battering me, just like gasping for air. You can go right down to like where the waves are coming in and stuff. Obviously I didn't want to get too close because I was on my own. Yeah. But you can get like right down there. Like, I can't imagine what it must have been like living there. Like, people obviously live there, like the same species as us at one point. Like, it must have been absolutely freezing. Like, you wouldn't have had heating or anything. Oh, but yeah, beautiful.
Well, whilst you have been out looking at, I'm not even sure what you actually went to see.
The castle.
I'm sure I'll see it on the footage later on. Me and AD have been busy making breakfast.
Yeah,
Well, I made it last night, overnight oats. Me and AD chopped up the fruit and stuff this morning together. So you got a cup of tea there as well.
Amazing. Oh,
Tuck in,
thanks.
enjoy.
Thank you very much.
And that is where we're going to leave you this week. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button to let us know. And if you're new around here, then why not consider subscribing, and don't forget to hit that little bell button too so you get notified when the third and final part of this mini-series drops. Next time we'll be visiting some more natural wonders, doing a spot of whiskey tasting and visiting a gorgeous fairy glen. Catch you then.